Are you ready to find your voice, fulfill your purpose, build unstoppable confidence? And are you ready to learn how to trust, accept, and love yourself enough to do the work to create what you want in life? Oh, and do you want to learn how to do it without burning yourself out, sacrificing what matters most, or compromising on your values? Then you're in the right place. I'm your host, Crystal Stanton, a certified coach, human design enthusiast, entrepreneur, and podcast host on a mission to guide women into their true, authentic success, to help them recognize their power and to step out from the shadows and into the woman they were always meant to be. Around here, we don't do grey, unaligned versions of our life. We don't settle for what we should be happy with. Around here, we do big, bold, courageous, fulfilled, rich lives, and we do it in an aligned, nourished, and truly authentic way. If that sounds like the life you want, then stick around and make sure you subscribe to the channel so you never miss an episode. Okay, everybody, I have a little secret that I need to let you all in on. Now, you know that I am all about feeling good, staying energized, and keeping my mind sharp so I can go out there and live my own fearless life and create my life by design while being able to meet and serve others. So, I have found something that helps me to do that amongst the chaos of holding it all, right? If you're anything like me, you are in a transition period. Maybe you're moving from one career to another. Maybe you're building your own business. Maybe you have a family. Maybe you are juggling multiple hats all at the same time. And whilst we know that we have to support our mind, body, soul, our nervous system with the right habits, standards, routines, to help us feel our best, sometimes we just need something a little bit extra to help fill those gaps in the chaos of life, right? Well, I have found something that does all of that and more, and it's called Happy Juice by Amar, the mental wellness company. It is a total game changer. Now, I have to admit that when I first heard about Happy Juice, I was very skeptical and I really didn't think that it was going to live up to the hype that I had heard all about it. Now, I have to tell you that I am a changed woman. My mindset about this has been completely changed. I've been using Happy Juice now, drinking Happy Juice now for about 3 months, and honestly, the results speak for themselves. So what is it? Well, basically, Happy Juice is a delicious drink that is packed with science-backed nutrients that support your gut-brain connection. Because when your gut is happy, your mind follows. So what it does is it helps boost your mood, sharpen your mental clarity, and give you sustained energy without the jitters or crash of something like coffee. Plus, it also is going to help you manage your stress, improve your motivation, and support your overall mental well-being naturally. There are no synthetic ingredients inside this drink, which is something that is really important to me. I have personally been loving how much more focused, balanced, and energized I feel throughout the day, especially juggling a business, 2 kids, Evie starting school, juggling multiple rehearsals for my creative endeavors and pursuits that I'm in, as well as recording the podcast. So I have really, really loved how this drink, this really simple tool in my toolkit, has been helping me to fill the gaps and support me as I go out there and create this incredible dream life that I am chasing. So if you want to experience it for yourself, head over to the show notes. There is a link if you are overseas, say in the USA, and there is a link if you are here in Australia, New Zealand. Go and grab yourself some Happy Juice today. You will get $10 off using my link down in the show notes. So cheers to feeling amazing inside and out. Hello, welcome to another episode of Fearless. Now, today's episode is coming from a little bit of self-reflection, a little bit of what's been coming up for my coaching clients lately, and just a reminder and a follow-on from what I spoke about in not the last episode, the episode before, around like self-worth, right? So this is one of the core sort of mental habits that can either really boost and support the growth of our self-worth and our confidence, or it can really quickly erode it. So today, and I don't think this will be a very long episode because it's really just off the cuff, in response to what I've been working through and learning and what I've been working through with clients, like I said. So probably won't be a super long episode, but that's okay too, because sometimes little short bite-sized episodes are, I don't know, more helpful because we can just get information quickly, get something we can use, a takeaway that we can use, and go on with our day. So today I want to talk about self-integrity, because this mental habit is absolutely vital in how we feel about ourselves, and it's vital if you are trying to create change in your life, or if you're trying to grow and expand from where you are, right? If you're trying to become that hero of your own story, you cannot do it without self-integrity. So I want to talk a little bit about what that is, what it means, like my understanding of it, my learning around it, and sort of how I've seen it play out for myself, conversations with clients, and how I see it sort of getting in the way of people creating what they want in their life. And it might be something that at first you go, well, integrity, like I have integrity. You know, what are you talking about? I have integrity. I don't really know what you mean. How can this be getting in my way? So let's go. Let's talk about it. Okay, so self-integrity. Now, I'm sort of going to go through my own lens, my own journey and learning with this, and sort of share how it came up for like in client conversation as well, and how I see it playing out. And this was really brought back to my attention very recently. Like I said, I've joined a coaching program, and this is one of sort of the pillars of that program. So it was a really great, timely reminder, because without this mental habit, you are not going to be able to build your self-worth. You are not going to be able to establish and maintain and integrate new habits. Okay, so it is absolutely vital, because it's kind of the habit after committing to something that most often gets in the way. So if we don't have this habit established, if we don't have self-integrity established as a habit, it just is who we are, then it's almost impossible to maintain and integrate new habits and to create change. Now, for me personally, integrity is one of my top values. And when I reflected on this, I thought, well, that is true. Absolutely. Integrity is a very high value for me. It's a large part of the reason why I left my teaching career, because I felt that my integrity was being challenged. But when I reflected on it in terms of self-integrity, I realized that really when I was saying integrity, what I was talking about was more moral and ethical integrity. Okay, so doing the right thing, even when it's hard, you know, keeping your word, not cheating, not stealing, not lying, right? Like, to me, that was the model of integrity I was working from, and that absolutely is integrity. But self-integrity is different, because self-integrity is, do you do all of those things for yourself, right? Do you do what you say you're going to do when you say you're going to do it for yourself? Right? So maybe for your personal growth or for your business or career growth, but like it's those things that come back to you. Are you a person of your word when it comes to your own growth and development, right? And for me, when I am being really honest with myself and taking responsibility, which is another mental habit we need to develop if we want to create change or growth in our life, I don't do that. Or it's not that I don't do that, but it's definitely an area I need to keep learning and working on, is that self-integrity. Because quite often I will make a commitment and I'll start something and then just stop doing it, right? When it comes to like, especially when it comes to me personally. And so that's what I wanted to talk about today. Like, what is self-integrity? Why is it so important? How do we know if we're struggling or we need to develop that habit, and what can we do about it? So I'm going to give some, give some examples. And I guess my personal example that's the easiest to sort of follow and share would be around my health goals, right? My physical and health goals. So for a long time, I've wanted to get into better shape, better physical health. And so, I'll make a commitment. I'm going to do X, Y, Z. I'm going to do Pilates 2 times a week. I'm going to eat a whole food diet. I'm going to do a walk around like the cliff in my local area once a week, right? This is what I'm committing to, because commitment is a mental habit that we need to develop as well. This is what I'm committing to. Now, someone who is self-integral, so that is who they are at an identity level, will not back out of those commitments for no reason. They will not use any circumstance to back out of that. They will not use time, energy, or money to back out of those. Now, for me personally, those commitments to myself and my personal health, growth, and well-being are the first things I break, if I'm being really, really honest, right? And I will use circumstance. I'll be like, oh, I don't have time. Oh, the girls took too long to get ready, so now I can't go. Oh, my body's tired. Oh, I stayed up late. Oh, the girls didn't have a good sleep. Oh, I need to go and do this other job first, right? And if you're hearing yourself in that, or you're feeling any kind of way about that, then chances are you do a similar thing. And so many people do. And really, in my experience, it is definitely something that parents do, especially, and women. And like, again, we can go down all of the roads of, well, that social conditioning. Women are supposed to be the carers, and so there's this, I guess, this predisposition placed upon women to put themselves last, like whatever, all the things. Yep, sure, all of those things exist, cool. But also, if you're here listening to this podcast, it's because you want to be the hero of your own story. You want to create your life beyond your wildest dreams. You want to create growth and change in your life. You want to experience transformation. So all those things can exist, but also we have to take personal responsibility and be like, yep, okay, cool, all those things, true. But I've said that I want XYZ. To get that, I have said I will commit to 1, 2, 3 things, and I'm not doing it. So I'm out of integrity with myself. It's basically breaking promises to yourself. And the thing is, anytime you break a promise to yourself, you instantly begin to erode your self-trust, which again is part of self-worth, self-love. If you cannot trust yourself, and self-trust is based on following through on what you said you're going to do, keeping promises and commitments to yourself. If you cannot trust yourself, you are not going to create what you want to create in life. Because every time you say you're going to do something, your subconscious identity is going to call bullshit. It's going to be like, no, you're not. Of course you're not going to fucking do that, because you said that last time and you never did it. And you're basically saying to yourself that you're not worth it. Your word isn't worthy, doesn't mean anything, and you don't value yourself. So this is why self-integrity is so important. And I know a lot of the times as parents, we fall out of this habit, right? This habit suffers because, we have children. So there are those circumstances that get in the way. Kids get sick, kids, take too long to get ready, so you're running behind time, and life is always going to life, right? So yes, we do have to have the ability to be flexible in when the commitments happen, but they have to happen. Okay, they have to happen. And I think that's the real distinction, because we say, give yourself grace, compassion, and yep, absolutely, right? We don't want to go down the road of, oh, you don't keep your commitments to yourself, you suck, you're not worthy, shame, guilt, blah, blah. No, that's not the cycle we want to get into. But we do have to take responsibility and say, okay, I've missed this commitment. How am I going to fix that? Okay, how am I going to fix that? I haven't been able to keep this commitment, so what do I need to do to fix that? Can I go and do that commitment now? Can I add it in tomorrow? But we have to keep those commitments, okay? So part of the initial phase that we have to go through is being more mindful of the commitments that we're making, because you're always committed to things, right? You're committed to everything. You are. People will be like, oh, I struggle with commitment. No, not true. Not true, because we're all committed to things. Whatever it is you have in life, that's what you're committed to. Okay? Whatever you do every single day, routinely, habitually, that is what you're committed to. But what you're actually talking about when you say I really struggle with commitment is that you're struggling to commit to new things, to different things, which is where the habit process and the parts of the brain come into play, and also where self-responsibility and self-integrity come into play. Okay, so they're all interrelated, these mental habits. But what you have to think about is, okay, what can I actually commit to? This is the change I want to create in my life. What can I commit to right now? You don't have to commit to everything all at once, because that's another trap sometimes we fall into. We're like, okay, well, I'm here at point A. I want to be here at point B. The person that has what I want in point B does these things. They be this way. They are this person. They have these habits and standards. So I'm going to start doing all of them right now from where I am right here. And like, I don't know, maybe I'm just not there yet in my learning and journey, but I don't know if a person exists who can do that. Just all of a sudden do all the things, right? And I really feel like that's setting yourself up for failure, because that's too much for your brain to handle, too much change for your brain to handle at once, too many new things for it to process and prioritize. And usually with your brain, the way it works is the first thing, the newest thing in is the first thing that it puts down, right? In the to-do list of your brain, and all the things it has to remember and process and do and execute every single day, the newest piece of information in is usually the first piece it's going to chuck out, right? So if you try and add like 10 new habits or 10 new commitments all at once, you're really not setting yourself up for success, because it's too much all at once. And then once you break one commitment, it becomes easier and easier to keep breaking them, right? Because your self-worth is eroding, like, oh, well, I don't deserve it anyway, so doesn't matter, all right? I'll just break all the commitments. Who cares? I don't trust myself to keep them anyway, right? So hopefully you can hear or see in your own life how important this is, and how this maybe is something that is keeping you stuck where you are, or like limiting your growth and potential, right? Where you could be going. And it could just be a nice reminder of like, oh, that's right, I do need to do those things. Because I have come a very long way in this, and I know that I have the ability to be very self-integral. Last year, for example, I did a challenge, a 365-day challenge. It was 50 burpees a day for 365 days. Now, I set myself that challenge completely like, if we get to 3 months, I'll be impressed with myself, right? Like, so, I was like, that will be great. And that was a really, really powerful journey for me in understanding how important self-trust is, keeping those commitments to yourself, and how that really supports that strong foundation of self-worth and self-value. And I kept that commitment to myself for 175 days. Okay, beautiful soul, just interrupting for a minute to talk to you about something that I'm really, really excited to share with you all. Now, if you are listening to this podcast, you're potentially someone who is in a bit of a transition period in life. Maybe you have been in a career for a long time and you're looking to change career paths, or to realign or get more clarity around your current career. Maybe you're building your own business and you're just feeling like you can't quite get the clarity you need to get the momentum happening. You're not quite sure what it is you're here to do or who it is you're here to serve. Maybe you're really struggling to figure out or revisit or redefine your identity, your life purpose, and your life direction. Now, I am really, really excited because I have created a very simple tool that is going to help you get the clarity that you are seeking. Transitions aren't just about, the next job or the next phase of our business. They're really about rediscovering who we are and realigning to who we are at our birth frequency. And that is where true authenticity comes from and true authentic success comes from. Now, what I have created for you is an incredibly simple tool that you can use to create clarity, alignment, success, progress. I am so excited to share this tool with you. And that tool is my aligned business roadmap. I am so excited by this tool and what I have been able to create, and I am absolutely so grateful and thankful for the incredible feedback that I have received about this tool. Now, what this tool does is it helps you create a growth plan that is aligned with your human design and your astrological frequency. So if you are wanting to build a thriving business that feels completely aligned with who you are, or if you're already in a career and you're just looking to leverage your unique human design and astrological blueprint so that you can craft a strategy that is actually designed for you, and you want to do it all in less than 1 hour without needing any in-depth knowledge about astrology or human design, then the Aligned Business Roadmap is for you. What the Aligned Business Roadmap is an ultimate ChatGPT prompt, mega prompt, that you can plug in step by step that's going to combine your human design and astrological frequency into a tailored strategy for you. It's going to provide a detailed roadmap to help you create a business that is aligned with your energy and your goals, no matter what they are. It is super easy to follow, even if you are new to human design or astrology. This isn't just another template. This isn't just another list of things you need to check off and do. This is the foundation for you to start becoming the person that can show up and hold the business, the career of your dreams, and actually achieve the goals that you have. It's your foundation for a supremely aligned, powerful strategy that works for you. No more chasing what everybody else is telling you to do. No more feeling overwhelmed by the hundreds of things that are out there that are always being thrown in your face. This is tailored to exactly you and your specific energetic blueprint, your birth frequency. And that is where true authenticity and authentic success comes from. So what you get inside this really simple tool for $47 is a clear guided prompt to help ChatGPT create a personalized growth strategy for you in any area of your life. Instructions and insights for deeper understanding, or you can just use it as a simple start point if you are a beginner, right? To create some clarity on where do I want to go and what's the most aligned way for me to get there. Also, it has the flexibility to dive deeper on your own or work with me to put the plan into action. Remember, business is not a one size fits all, and that is where so many of us are getting ourselves stuck. We're tapping into cookie cutter strategies, and there's no real authenticity, no real us, no real soul inside them. So by tapping into your human design and astrology, you'll be able to unlock clarity, alignment, and a path that feels natural, nurturing, and fulfilling. Okay, so I hope you're as excited as I am. Get ready to start transforming your business or your career. Say goodbye to all of the overwhelm and all of the generic strategies. Get ready to step into alignment with a strategy that truly resonates and watch your potential become a reality. If you are ready, head to the show notes. The link is in the show notes. $47. Go and grab your Aligned Business Roadmap today. Go and check out the testimonials from the other people who have already used this tool inside their business with incredible success. All right, big love. Enjoy the rest of the episode. So for 175 days, no matter what happened in that day, I did 50 burpees a day. And on day 176, I got sick and I was in bed all day and I called it. I just physically, and again, this is an example of, well, someone who was really self-integral and committed would have pushed through and done it. Anyway, I made the choice not to. But I learned a lot from that experience as well. Basically, that, oh, I can actually be committed to things, right? I can keep those commitments to myself. I can prioritize those things because it's so easy as, a busy person, as a parent, as, someone building a career or a profession or a business or, whatever it is, whatever endeavor you're in. It can be really easy to put those things for ourselves to the side, right? And break those commitments to ourselves because they feel like the easiest thing to put down, especially if other people rely on us, right? It's like, okay, well, I got to be there for them. So they'll have to come first and then I'll just have to find time to do that later. But that experience of that challenge really taught me that, well, actually, I can actually be present and be supportive and show up for people the way they need me to, and also show up for myself. So that was a really good experience of what self-integrity means, because holy hell, it did not get easier. There was not a single day where I was like, oh, this is easy now, even though I went through the initial habit installation phase, the 67 days, right, that it takes to initiate a habit. So yes, it was just a habit. I was like, yeah, I do this. This is a thing that I do. It still was not easy. I still had to prioritize it and I still had to push through and find the self-motivation to do it because I did not want to do those 50 burpees every day. But the exercise wasn't a physical challenge. That's not really what it was about. And to be honest, I didn't really get much of a physical change in my body, a little bit, but not that much. But what I really did get was the understanding of the importance of commitments and keeping your commitments to yourself. And then again, I've had this reminder of how important self-integrity is, because I have, with doing the musical that I've been in and like a few different things like that, and our schedule changing, I've noticed, I'm falling back into these patterns of not keeping the commitments to myself, right? Not keeping the commitments to my like self-care and the practices that I know help me to be the best version of myself, and also like commitments that I've made to my business growth and to the podcast, right? Again, I've allowed circumstance to sort of sneak in, right? And I've like caught myself and pulled myself up and been like, oh, remember self-integrity. Remember, we're not keeping these commitments. We're not doing what we said we were going to do when we said we were going to do it. So I really wanted to share this in the podcast today so that you can start thinking about, okay, where does this play out in my life? Where is this happening? Where am I making commitments that I'm breaking, that I may not even realize it, that's really having a huge impact on my self-trust, my ability to love, trust, and accept myself, which, is your value and your worth, and is probably impeding your progress in whatever area of life you're trying to improve upon or change, right? Or create transformation in. And if you're not aware of this mental habit, then that's when you're most likely to, like, when you realize, I said I was going to go to the gym 3 times a week and I've only gone once, or I've stopped doing it altogether. Instead of falling into the pattern of guilt and shame and embarrassment, which is not where we want to go, we can go, I forgot to be self-integral. That's right. I just have to remember to be self-integral, and we can just pick it up from there. We don't have to make it mean something about ourselves. So this is a theme, that came up with some of my coaching clients recently as well, this self-integrity piece, because also something that can get in the way. And I think this is a different podcast, but like a reason why sometimes we don't keep those commitments to ourselves is because we have like a fear, right? A fear of inadequacy, or a fear of judgment, rejection, right? A fear of success, or a fear of failure, right? And so we're like, I'm not going to keep that commitment to myself because I'm not worthy of it, or, I'm not good enough to do it, or, well, I'll get rejected if I do it in some way. Okay. Or like, oh, but if I do it and I actually create success, like, am I ready to hold that level of success? Do I feel responsible or worthy enough to receive it? Or if it's failure, and then you're like, oh my God, if I do that thing and I put myself out there and I don't get what I want, oh my gosh, what does that mean about me, right? Oh, it means that all those things that other people said are true. Okay, this is a whole different podcast episode, but none of the things that I talk about are on an island, right? Alone. They're all interrelated, but so sometimes it gets a bit hard to like share one specific thing without talking about the others because they are so intertwined and integral to each other. But today the focus is on self-integrity. So if you're listening to this and you're like, yep, this is definitely a piece of learning, of work that I need to be doing. This is definitely a mental habit that I need to be focusing on. Great. What do you do about that? Okay, how do I start repairing, or, if it's something you have done but it's just fallen off, repairing or building this habit? Start with one commitment. And this was something I talked to a client about today. So we were talking about, okay, well, what commitment can you make? Can you do this particular thing by this particular time? And straight away, the answer was, oh yeah, of course I can do that. And so I sort of paused us and I went back and I said, okay, because again, people pleasing can come into this, and our fears of abandonment, rejection can all come into overcommitting, right? Which then creates overwhelm and then feeds into this cycle of not being self-integral, all the things. So I pulled us up and I said, no, can you actually commit to this? Because there's no point making the commitment if you can't keep it, right? You're better off being honest with yourself and be like, actually, do you know what? No. Right now, no. Okay? And some people might be hearing that and be like, what? You're saying we can just like not do the things? I'm like, yes and no. Like, yes, we have to take imperfect action in the direction of our dreams, but also if we just keep committing to things and then just keep not doing them and keeping those commitments, that's just as detrimental as not doing the things, right? Like not taking action. So I want you to be really honest with yourself and start small, okay? What's one commitment that you can keep to yourself? One unbreakable standard, right? Is just like, okay, I'm going to pick this one thing and it is going to be an unbreakable commitment. It is going to be a commitment that I cannot break no matter what. And if you're really struggling with this, think about how you show up for other people, because a lot of the time if you struggle with self-integrity, it's possible, I'm not going to say it's 100% true, but it's very possible that you also what's the word I want to use, also have people-pleasing behaviors. I don't want to say you are a people pleaser because that's an identity. We don't want to do that. But it's likely that if you struggle with self-integrity, it's because you're prioritizing other people's needs over your own. So you're falling into people-pleasing behavior, right? You're over-committing to other people at the expense of yourself. So think about, okay, well, when I say I'm going to show up for, someone here, I always do it no matter what. I'll move heaven and earth to do that. Okay, use that person or that experience as like your, what's the word? Words come through, like your alter ego. That'll do. Your alter ego, right? Just put you, okay? Replace you until you get to the point where you can just do this. So pick one thing. And, if you listened to the episode around self-worth and you're like, oh, I really need to work on that. Okay, did you start implementing one of those two strategies that I shared? Did you do the I love you 30-day challenge, or start it because it hasn't been 30 days? Did you download the self-love vibe booster and start listening to it? Maybe that's your commitment, that you're actually going to keep it, not just think about it like, oh yeah, that would be really good, I'm going to do that, and then not do it. Okay, what is it for you? And start small. You don't have to change the world yet, right? We change it one commitment at a time, right? One commitment at a time. We grow and we expand until it's just like we do not break commitments to ourselves. Okay, we don't break our commitments to ourselves, to other people, to our business, because we get a lot more we use a lot more discernment in what we commit to in the first place, right? That's really part of the self-integrity piece, is like being discerning in what we commit to in the first place, so that we know we can keep those commitments. Okay, so that we're not eroding our self-integrity and our self-worth. So, you know, a suggestion I made to a client was, okay, I want you to write down everything you're committed to, every person, every event, every community group, your commitments in your business, your commitments to family, friends, your commitments to yourself. Like, write the whole list and actually have a look at that and be like, fuck, are all of these things my responsibility? Like, is everything on this list actually my responsibility? Do I really need to be committed to all of these things? Or are there some things on here that's actually somebody else's responsibility? Or are there some things on here I need to let go of? Right? Or are there some things in here that I'm doing to my own detriment? Right? Really look at that list. Or are there things that I can outsource? Okay? And then prioritize it. What is actually most important on this list of commitments? Okay, and sort of go that way and be like, okay, am I overcommitted to too many things? And start using discernment on what you then choose to commit to going forward, right? And also be aware that, you know, there could be some sneaky brain things going on where you're committing to things that you subconsciously or unconsciously know are going to stop you from keeping the commitments that put you in your discomfort zone. Right? Because anytime we want to create growth and transformation, we have to get out of our comfort zone. We have to do things that put us out of our comfort zone. So it's not surprising then if you then go, oh, I've committed to all this stuff that literally makes it impossible for me to keep those commitments that are going to create growth and transformation in my life and expansion, right? Because remember, we talked about, did we talk about this on the podcast? I'm not sure. Maybe we did in the Fearless Collective, but inside your brain, in terms of habits, you've got your logical prefrontal cortex, which is, you know, making decisions about, oh, I want this and that, which means I have to do this and I have to have these commitments. And then you've got the reptilian part of your brain, the subconscious part of your brain, that actually it has the ability to override your prefrontal cortex, and it doesn't particularly want you to change because change limits its ability to do its job, which is to make predictions and keep you safe. So change creates unpredictability in your life, so it will try and convince you through habit voice to not do anything new or make any changes and keep doing things the way you've always done them, because then it can do its job more efficiently. So have a look at that commitment list and be like, wow, look at the way I've self-sabotaged from what I want to create in life by committing to all these things that literally stop me from being able to do the things I know I need to do to be the person I need to be to have what I want in life. So that could be a fun little activity for you. Maybe just commit to that one thing. But whatever it is, find one small commitment you can make to yourself. Maybe it's that, you know, I'm going to commit to writing down 10 things I'm grateful for before I go to bed. Something really simple. Maybe it's I'm going to commit to sending a message to someone I love every day. Like, I don't care what it is. I literally don't care what it is. I just want you to pick one thing, one commitment, and do not break it for the next 67 days at least. Okay? No breaking it. Unbreakable commitment, so that you can experience self-integrity and you can experience the impact that that mental habit has on your self-worth and how much you can love, trust, and accept yourself, especially your self-trust. If you don't have self-trust, life can be very difficult, okay? If you're here to go beyond what you already have and you want to create growth and transformation and impact and, you know, all of the wonderful things that we're here for if you're listening to this podcast. And if you're listening to this podcast and like, oh, that's not really me, I'm like, well, jokes, it is. That's why you found yourself here. Maybe you just haven't realized it yet. Okay, that is it from me today. Big love, everybody, and I will see you on the next episode. Thank you so much for listening to today's episode. I really hope you received exactly what you needed from it. I absolutely loved sharing it with you. I'd also love to know what you thought. So please leave a comment or review for me to respond to, or just come over and say hi on my socials. If you'd love to be a guest on the show, or maybe you have a question or a topic that you'd like me to talk about, then please send me a message. I absolutely love to connect. And really, this podcast is all about you. And your success. So tell me what you need to hear more of. If you really enjoyed this episode, please give it a like, or even better, send it to someone you know to spread the love. Let's get this authentic success movement happening. Okay, that's it from me. Big love. Now go out there and be amazing.